Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be talking about Resident Evil Village and how it is basically the reincarnation of Resident Evil 4. Now me personally, Resident Evil 4 is my favourite game in the whole of the franchise. That game blew my mind, probably completed it 12, 13 times. A lot of it when I was a kid growing up, and again recently I completed it again. It's an amazing game. I love it, and Resident Evil Village is something that's looking like it's going to match that quality in my opinion. I'm going to show you just the little things, the quirks that they've brought back from Resident Evil 4 and they've brought into Village. Some of them may have been in Biohazard as well, but there's so many comparisons from Resident Evil 4 that it really does give you that same feeling I had back when I was playing that game. So let's jump into it anyway and see some of the comparisons between the two games. So the first one we're looking at here is the smashing of the boxes. I'm sure you guys remember doing this in Resident Evil 4 if you did play it, and it feels very similar with the boxes and the vases and things like that, that everything you break does have the chance to have a decent bit of loot in it, and that's how you keep yourself stocked up as you play through the game. So that really did give me that nostalgic feeling early on when I was cracking boxes in Resident Evil Village. The next comparison I have for you is the moving of bookshelves in front of doors and windows to stop the infected from getting in. Leon used to push them. In Resident Evil Village you pull them, but it's basically the same thing and give me the exact same feeling as when I was playing Resident Evil 4. And then you have things like gems in high places. This was something that was all over Resident Evil 4 that they brought back to Village, and I'm really glad they have. It's such a nice thing to do. Look for a little bit of treasure, and there's plenty to be found. You just look for that sparkle, and you know you've got a little something to sell to the trader down the line. Really cool that they're bringing all this stuff back, and this one really does hit hard in the nostalgia. This next one's really telling for me that they have tried to mirror the two games, and that is the shooting of the bird cages or slash nests in Resi 4. Again, it just gives us a reason to look up and look around, which is exactly what you want in a video game. You want stuff you can find yourself, and this is what Village is doing really well in the parts that I've played so far. This next one is absolutely class, and it's the killing of crows to get yourself some extra money and some extra ammo and things like that. It's something I used to love doing in Resi 4. I didn't even realise you could do it at the beginning of Resi 4, but the second I seen a crow in Village, I shot it to see if it was going to drop some loot, and I was buzzing to see that it actually did. This next one is straight up my favourite of the lot. I think it's so cool that they've brought back the merchant. Not the same merchant, but man, this new merchant is one hell of a character himself. I know the old merchant from Resi 4 had legendary lines, and this new merchant even says a few of them along the way as well, which is absolutely brilliant. But just a great way to upgrade weapons, get more ammo and health and things like that. It always felt special and safe when you found yourself a merchant. And the similarities don't stop there. If you speak to the Duke and open up his menu, the menu is unbelievably similar to the one in Resi 4. Not in the way it looks, but in the options you have. You have the supplies, which is if you're buying something. You have the gunsmith, which is tune up it was back in the day. And then you have the Duke's purse, which is what are you selling, basically, where you get rid of all your gems and the other things you find in the game when you kill enemies and things like that. So it's exactly the same as it was back in the day, obviously a little bit fancier, slightly different, but I just love the fact that they really aimed this game on Resident 4 so that it feels very, very homely to the players that have played all those years ago. And the last comparison I have for you is the stash. Now I know Resi has had stashes in a lot of the games that they've made, but personally I think this one is the closest thing we've had to the Resi 4 stash since, especially with being able to expand it and things like that. It's almost identical, to be honest. I much prefer the graphic of the Resi 4 one over the Village one, but the functionality of it is almost exactly the same. So anyway, let's sum up. I haven't played that much of Village yet. I would say maybe a quarter of the game, something like that. I'm not sure on the length, but it feels like it's about a quarter. So I haven't seen maybe all the comparisons, some better comparisons, or maybe ways that it differs later down the line. But what I noticed from the second I picked up Village, or Resident Evil Village, was that it was reminding me of Resident Evil 4 everywhere I went, everywhere I looked, and everything I did. Personally, I think that's a great way to go about it. Make a new game, make it in the image of an old game, but have a new storyline, new characters, and new things for us to enjoy. I prefer this more than a remake, for example, or a remaster, or a reimagine. They're calling them whatever they want. Personally, I like a brand new game like this, but you know, it's definitely a throwback to a game that was originally released. You don't understand how many times I tried to say that then, tongue twister, on PS2. I'm going to leave this one here anyway. If you liked the video, like the video, subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, as always, and take it easy.